Welcome to the Think Forward podcast, where we speak with futurists, innovators, and big thinkers. Come along with your host, Steve Fisher, and explore the future together.
Welcome back to Foundations in Foresight, a Think Forward series. I'm Steve Fisher, and today we're continuing our journey into world building within the Spectrum Foresight method. This time, we're exploring the practical tools, techniques, and artifacts that can help bring our visions of the future to life in vivid, tangible ways. Now, throughout this series, we've spent a lot of time discussing powerful super shifts, these big, transformative changes that reshape everything from our technology to our cultures and societies. We've imagined future infrastructures and vividly illustrated daily life scenarios. But an essential part of effective foresight is being able to communicate these futures clearly, persuasively, and engagingly. That's where tools, techniques, and artifacts come into play. When we talk about foresight artifacts, we're not just referring to physical objects. These can be anything tangible or digital, like prototypes, mock news headlines, simulated social media posts, fictional journal entries, or even future-based advertisements that vividly illustrate potential future scenarios. Artifacts like these bring your visions to life, helping stakeholders and audiences understand, engage with, and strategically act upon your foresight work. Let's dive deeper into why these artifacts are so powerful. Humans are fundamentally storytelling beings. We connect with stories, metaphors, and tangible illustrations far more deeply than abstract ideas or complex data. When we can see, feel, or interact with a future scenario through a carefully designed artifact, it becomes more real, relatable, and actionable. Consider, for example, the super shift towards sustainability. We've talked about how this shift impacts infrastructure, community values, and daily life. But what if you could actually hold a product designed for a circular economy, like a reusable, sustainable container embedded with technology to track usage and life cycle impact? Suddenly, sustainability isn't just a concept, it's tangible. Stakeholders can physically interact with this vision of a sustainable future, understanding its practical implications and strategic opportunities far more clearly. Similarly, imagine a future driven by digital transformation. We've explored how this shift could impact work, community, and education. But now, picture yourself watching a simulated advertisement for an advanced AI assistant capable of managing your daily tasks, optimizing your health routines, or even tutoring your children. This kind of vivid, interactive artifact makes abstract ideas tangible, illustrating how digital transformation might practically enhance daily human experiences. These tangible and digital artifacts have several critical strategic benefits. Firstly, they help clarify and communicate your future scenarios vividly and persuasively. Stakeholders, colleagues, or community members can engage with tangible or visual artifacts more deeply than abstract descriptions or complicated data sets. Artifacts also help provoke valuable discussions, feedback, and strategic insights. When stakeholders interact with tangible visions of the future, they often ask critical questions, identify potential challenges, and propose innovative solutions you might not have considered. Artifacts become not just communication tools, but powerful strategic catalysts, enabling richer dialogue and deeper foresight exploration. So how can you practically create and use these foresight artifacts in your world-building practice? The process begins by clearly identifying your key super shifts and future scenarios, whether it's sustainability, digital transformation, demographic shifts, or emerging societal values. Clarity about these foundational changes helps shape relevant and impactful artifacts. Next, decide what types of artifacts will best illustrate your scenarios. This choice depends significantly on your audience, objectives, and available resources. Tangible prototypes might be ideal for engaging stakeholders in product innovation. Simulated headlines, news reports, or social media posts might be more effective for sparking broader strategic discussions or public engagement. After deciding the artifact types, carefully design them to vividly illustrate key aspects of your scenarios. Authenticity and relatability are crucial here. Ensure your artifacts feel plausible, realistic, and relevant. If you're creating a prototype product, make sure it reflects practical usability and genuine innovation. If you're crafting a future news headline or simulated social media feed, ensure it clearly illustrates strategic implications and potential real-world developments. Involve diverse perspectives during this design process: designers, strategists, storytellers, community members, and subject matter experts. Diverse input ensures your artifacts are not only strategically insightful, but also authentically human-centered and practically valuable. Once your artifacts are designed, integrate them directly into your strategic planning and foresight communication processes. Use these artifacts in presentations, workshops, stakeholder engagements, or public communications. Clearly illustrate how these artifacts represent potential futures, why these futures matter strategically, and how your organization or community can practically respond or adapt. Throughout this process, remain flexible and adaptive. Future scenarios, and therefore your artifacts, are dynamic and continuously evolving. Regularly revisit and refine your artifacts as new insights, trends, or strategic needs emerge. This flexibility ensures your foresight remains relevant, responsive, and practically valuable. Of course, practical challenges can arise when designing and using foresight artifacts. One significant challenge is balancing visionary creativity with strategic realism. Your artifacts should inspire strategic imagination and discussion, but remain grounded in plausible, realistic developments. Regularly assess your artifacts against emerging signals, current realities, and practical implementation considerations. Effective communication is another critical aspect. Artifacts are powerful strategic tools because they're relatable, engaging, and human-centered. Clearly articulate how each artifact represents future possibilities, emphasizing their strategic implications. Engage stakeholders authentically, demonstrating precisely how these artifacts inform strategic decisions and organizational planning. Additionally, carefully tailor artifacts to resonate with specific stakeholders or strategic objectives. Business leaders might require clearly illustrated implications for market positioning or innovation. Community members might need scenarios emphasizing community resilience, social cohesion, or sustainability. Tailoring your artifacts ensures they're meaningful, impactful, and practically useful. Lastly, embrace continuous learning and adaptation. Future scenarios evolve constantly. Influenced by technological innovations, global events, societal changes, and emerging insights, regularly revisit and refine your artifacts. Remain open, adaptive, and responsive, ensuring your foresight practice continues evolving strategically. Let's pause briefly to summarize today's key insights. We explored why tangible and digital artifacts are essential components of effective world building and strategic foresight. We saw how artifacts vividly illustrate potential futures, provoke valuable dialogue, and catalyze strategic insights and actions. We also provided clear, practical steps for designing, creating, and strategically utilizing these foresight artifacts. By clearly identifying relevant supershifts, choosing appropriate artifact types, designing them carefully, engaging diverse perspectives, and integrating them strategically into your foresight practice, you can create powerful, engaging artifacts that genuinely inform strategic decision-making. As we wrap up, here's a reflective exercise for you. Identify one significant supershift relevant to your organization or community. Clearly outline a practical artifact, tangible or digital, that vividly illustrates this future shift. It could be a product prototype, a simulated news headline, a future advertisement, or even a fictional diary entry. Begin sketching or drafting this artifact today, using it directly in your strategic foresight communication and stakeholder engagements. Looking ahead, our next episode will explore how we can extract clear strategic insights and decisions from our comprehensive world-building practice. We'll discuss how to transition from vividly imagined futures to practical strategic action, ensuring your foresight practice remains actionable, relevant, and impactful. Remember, effective foresight isn't just about seeing possibilities, it's about clearly communicating them, engaging stakeholders meaningfully, and strategically acting upon them. Tangible and digital artifacts powerfully support these objectives, transforming abstract visions into practical strategic tools. Thank you again for joining me today on Foundations in Foresight. Keep imagining vividly, designing creatively, communicating strategically, and always think forward.
Thanks for listening to the Think Forward podcast. You can find us on all the major podcast platforms and at www.thinkforwardshow.com, as well as on YouTube under Think Forward Show. See you next time.